All right, guys, let's do it. All righty. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I got the bonding set up today. Hold on. Hmm. There we go. We're bonding, right? All right, cool. Um, I don't know what the camera's doing. All right, well, this is it. This is what we got, I think. I think I can do this with it. Maybe that'll work. Um, that, get it down more. That might work a little bit better. I think that does. Maybe. All right, well, this is what we got. So let's just go with it. Let's get to it. Sorry, guys. I know I'm super late today. Today it's been a day. All right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry guys, I got a lot going on this morning. I apologize. Mine's in 1,000 different freaking places right now. Let's get to it. Let's get focused. It's time to make the donuts. The kids still say that, right? It's time to make the donuts. Let's go to the equity futures. Let's talk about what's going on out there. If you have not watched Saturday's video, I'd strongly recommend that you do it, whether you're in the community or not. If you're trying to get in the community, there is the last batch that's going out for at least 30 days this week. And then for the next 30 days, community will be closed to enrollment. I got to go through all this stuff while it's in my mind, or I won't get it out. I do look at the way that you're set up here. I do look at the way that we're set up, and I feel like we want to go higher, but I really am concerned about this and the fact that we're not pushing. And it's a concern of mine, but I don't know that it's going to happen now. What I'm wondering is, 2 weeks from now, and I think we should start doing more live stuff. So we're going to. But here's my larger concern. Like 2 weeks from now, we start getting the real data, the CPI data. And it's a concern of mine. I'm wondering if it's going to come in hot, and that we start seeing the rolling then. I'm wondering if you're going to see a short term pullback in mid July. We did last mid July. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but like you're really susceptible to this stuff in July. Um, you'll remember this, right? Last July, like we're really susceptible because you don't have all the players. Everybody's away. Everybody's doing nonsense. People don't think like that, but and then obviously we had what happened with Japan. I don't think we're gonna have another yen incident, but I do think you could have weakness again in July. And if you really go through timing, it's like the July August period where it does tend to come in again. Like here's the 23rd, and you can say it, and it's pretty historically like that period of time, July, August, you always have some kind of like move back. Even here, it's June, July, and then you kind of see a little move. Even when we were had like a great market, it's just that period of time where you'll see it. And historically, that's also, I think you start getting into that freezing of corporate buybacks. So I think we're heading into it, but we'll see. So far, the way July's been, mid July, it hasn't been that bad, has it? So is it going to come in August? I don't know. We'll get through today, but it's really on my mind, and I wanted to just share it. Um, if we look at how this is going, and we can see the rallies like right here and right here, and you see where see how it's going. Like I don't know. I'm already oversold, so I don't know. Today's going to be that kind of day where you sell down. And the other thing is you don't have any economic news this week, so I think the best thing for us to do is utilize these levels and see how they go. I really think that's the best thing to utilize the levels and see if we break out or not. I, I would not be leaning towards that we're going to have this major breakout. I don't know what your catalyst is going to be this week except earnings. And you have a lot of them. And I will stay late today because I started so late. So I do apologize for that. This was super late today. I'm actually surprised that I did it, that I stayed that late. So, I shouldn't have. I couldn't help it this morning. There was nothing I could really do about it. Sometimes things get a little goofy. So see how we're hanging out right up in here, and then watch this on the RSI. You're already oversold on the 5. Now you start looking at some of these others, and they can get worse. But the one that really stands out to me is this, because I've undercut it. Like I'm here and I've undercut that. That's pretty rare to not go lower, and that's a concern. It's definitely a concern of mine when I see that, because you did go lower there, and it's definitely an issue. But see it? So you already cracked it. So let me just show you. So, I think you just want to be careful. I'm not saying that you just aren't going to sell back down and rally. You probably do, but it doesn't mean that it can't get worse. And I think that's out there this morning. On the hourly, how bad is it? How bad is it? It's not good. Well, it's not good, Bob. Like see, like it's not great. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be going nuts. I think that the way to do this is to kind of look at it and say to yourself, like, is this something that you really? Let's get this down here for a sec, and we'll just get rid of it. Is this something that you really want to play with? I'm not so sure. I mean, I think that some of these are getting to that level of a bounce or something like that, but I think you got to be super careful here, man. Like, really freaking careful. You're due to pull back. I keep going through it in my head, like, what's the catalyst? Like, what is that catalyst that's going to get the market, down? I don't have one, but it's there. We need to kind of see that, the turn. Is it going to be earnings? Like, if you think about earnings, right? Like here, the Q's just falling off, right? But if you think about earnings, like Google should be amazing this week, right? We have Google this week. Like they should actually have really good earnings, unless their search is way off. And if their search is off, oof, that's going to be a problem. But I would think that like YouTube's going to be insane. I would think that YouTube's going to be insane. I would also think you get a lot of updates from things. So keep that in mind. I think a lot of quantum updates I think are coming. I've been playing around with those too. Someone told me that like Claude was better which I think is them, right? Isn't that them? Isn't that Google? And I'm like, oh, I use ChatGPT. I started using Claude. It's like talking it's like literally going from like a kindergartner to like a professor. It's kind of crazy. Like the quality of the answer is so much freaking better. It's not even funny. I have an alert here, and it feels like that's a really crappy area to have an alert at now. Yes, remove the alert. See it? So I'm not so sure that that should be my area anymore. I think you should look at it like this. And I think this one should be tighter now to here. I actually think it should be even tighter than that to the wick area, because we just have Wick City down here, don't we? And we held right there. So I think that's a better way to look at it. I do think you could come in. I think some of these names are it's absolutely staggering how they have not lifted. Let's do Tesla, because you guys will ask about that. And then we'll take a look at this. But for me, nothing freaking surprises me with this company anymore. Like nothing. I think it's going to be the Elon show this week for earnings. We'll talk about robo-taxis. We'll talk about, all kinds of stuff. I'm sure he will use this attempt to, say something about Trump. I would imagine he's going to use his platform to be very vocal on this. I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on with that bromance, but it came to a crashing halt. But you look at the levels and do you get a shot at 322 before earnings? I don't know. I think what you'd really want to do is go to the hourly and say, where would you stop? Right? So here's the level of everything. And he was supposed to benefit greatly from everything out there. I mean, that's really where your target would be. And then you'd be going here. The question is, what happens into earnings? I would think that they're going to be a disaster. I would think they're going to be an absolute dumpster fire when you look at the numbers. But, the people that own this name, they really don't care. They truly just don't really care about it. Whether or not the earnings are a dumpster fire or not, they're just whatever, we're going to get robots one day. I mean, he might be able to sell that story for 10 years, He's really good at selling stories, really, really good. And people just keep giving him leeway with it. So, maybe they do. I don't know, man. It's a pickle. I shorted this thing. I'll never forget it. I'll find it. I shorted this thing, and it was last earnings. It was a dumpster fire. It was this here. Let me see if I can do it real quick. And I was just I was literally laughing at it because it was such a dumpster fire. And then he came on and said a couple things, and people were just yay, Elon. And I got hammered on it, destroyed. I'm gonna do a video on all my stops out, because people keep saying how do you act on when you get stopped out. I always show live trades of winning, but I never show they're you never showed the losers or losing trades. I'm okay, I can do that, but let's see if it'll let me go back this far. I know I'm on a tangent, but I'm in for a penny, in for a pound now. So here we go. See if I can find it real quick. See if it'll let me go back this far. There we go. But it came out, and it was just a freaking bloodbath. And it was really bad, but it wouldn't go down. And I'm it'll drop. And then on the conference call, he said something here, we're going to make robo juicers, and everyone just went yay, Elon. And then that was it. I was host. I was absolutely screwed. And because once you flip this, once you're over the doji, it's on, once you flip those on, especially on earnings, man, you have a problem. And you can see that level. You can literally mark those off, because they're where your algos are. And I wouldn't use a 3. I'd use a 1 or a 5. But once they mark those levels, man, because that's where the algorithm's saying I'll sell everything. And when you clear them out, that's it. What else is interesting? Nvidia, as always, I really like the name here, and it seems to be holding quite nicely at this level, and I think it'll continue to. But 72.50 seems like a big level. What other things do I think are super interesting for us to go over? You got added to the S&P. You have a short interest in this, and you can't rally any more than that. I don't know, man. I personally think this rallies more, but we'll see. We'll see what it does. Like I'm actually surprised that you're not rallying more. I will take questions for a bit here because I stayed so late to come to this, and I apologize. Let's just start doing them, John. So let's do net, RN, JP Morgan. I actually think semis can move a lot more. And I actually think that the call options are ridiculously cheap on some of these names. So stuff like this, to me, yeah, I'm very interested in how you're rotating and you keep rotating. What I don't like about the market are these kinds of bars. And that's a me problem. That's not a market problem. The market could care less what I care about, right? Like they just truly don't care. My problem with this and these bars, what do you got for me, John? Thank you, brother. My problem with these bars is that I never know how much is here off that open to sell. I don't have a clue. And then it hit it again here. And so that's always my issue. Now I can go here, look at the volume, and then dive into it. But I can tell you right now, you're nowhere near over what they had to sell here. So does that push through? Maybe it does. Maybe it does push through. For me, I just don't go near it. I go for another one, and I take a look at it. Why do I feel like I'm so tiny now? Like here, like I feel like I'm crunched in. I like it. Do you have a tariff issue? Do you have a non-tariff issue? And as always, you don't know who's here. So, like, who's the seller? Look at the size of that. So if I had to look at that bar and that seller, and that's their level to sell, that's when they say this is at fair value to them, right? They're still selling. They're still selling. They're still selling. Who am I? Like, who am I? So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it, I don't know why I would push it. I will say this, they're killing it. Their business is killing it. JP Morgan I like, but is that really where I want to spend my money right now? Or do I want to go in the regionals? I think I want to go in the regionals. Nvidia I love, like you're just talking to the wrong guy. If you're looking for me to say something negative, like I have dreams about Nvidia. I have issues. Open, yeah, I want to just get this out there so people get this. What's up, Julian? I just want to get this out there so people get it. But like I don't trade these little guys that often, and the reason is because I can't get in and out of them that fast, and because of the liquidity issues. But like, I've been asked about this thing for 3 days since like back here. You guys started asking me about it like last Tuesday or Wednesday or something, right? It's tripled since then. I think the first guy they asked me about it was like 60 or 70 cents. It's just not my kind of trade. I would rather short this when it gets to 5. That's how I look at it. But make no bones about it. There is a massive short position in this, and it can get to 5. And that's how I look at it. And I think that's how people should look at this. So for me, yeah, that's really where my head is with this, and that's really where I think and how you should focus on it. I don't think anything more than that. I think that it can get squeezed, and I think it can move. This DPRO, I had a position in. I don't have a position anymore. I am going to regret that this morning. What I would say about this is, one guy in the room's like all over this thing, and he's nailed it. So here's your news, right? It prices. You never broke, man. Like you never broke. So if you were a long-term buyer, the one thing you always look at is you always look at the pricing and then how it goes the day of the pricing, right? So my back's freaking killing me. chest today, but my back shouldn't bother me. So you need to make sure that when you see the pricing at that level, you never break that level. Like you never ever break that level. That's your that's my level, right? So I would really focus on that. What's this stuff doing? Why are you going the other way? So I would focus on that. Now, give me a second here, guys. I like this name. I'll tell you where my head is with it. I need it to pull back. If it pulls back, I'm super, super interested in it. I'm going to go through coin because I think someone's going to bring it up. And I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. It's starting to bother me. I should be pushing. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. Give me a second, guys. Okay, don't do that. And I moved it. That's interesting. I hardly sold any. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, I just gotta do this. I don't know why we can't hold these levels on the upgrade. You should be holding Asia, and you're not. Oh, you asked about coin. Cool. You need to hold here, dude, or you're going to gap fill. I have a position. We bought it at. We bought it in here. Watch Thursday's video. I'm going to do like a walkthrough on this entire trade, and then I'm going to do other videos on those portions of it as to why you want to use those. So I'm going to do a video Thursday on this trade that we did, like how we picked this off down here. And which we did, and now I'm selling it up here. But I want to show you how I did it, and then I'm going to link other videos to the 3 different metrics I used. I think it'll be super helpful for people. It was interesting. And I was talking to this dude this weekend from YouTube. He got in like my book, and we were talking, and he was just talking about how he watches like every single piece of educational content. And then I realized like I just don't have as much as I thought I did out there for educational. I have a lot of information and I weave the educational into it, but I have a hard time buying these charts. So like I bought this and it was one of those things I wanted to own it. And I made more money off the puts, quite frankly. I actually did well with the puts. When I have shooting stars of rejection, I tend not to go near them. I tend to not go near them. So I wouldn't be chasing that. Coin is a very different story than Circle. Meta, the question for me really is, am I at an area of interest? And like for me, if I close above, I use a 12, a 22, or 55. But if I close above the 22, wake me up. Like some people might get all giddy when they see like the hammer, hammer time. And yeah, it's of interest. But if I go and take a look at the hammer, and now I want to go double check the hammer. Hold on. Yeah, all right, I want to make sure I had a hammer. I still, red means stop. Right? Red means stop to me. Right? Red means stop. So I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. I actually think Google's the play. And give me a second here. I really don't like the way anything is acting this morning right now. It seems like we're just fading on everything. Like why? it feels heavy, right? The whole market just kind of feels heavy. Like, are we getting an opportunity, or are they just setting us up on the whole market? All right. The B Sky, super interesting. I call it B Sky because I just invert the numbers, but I really do like this, and I do think this has potential. I do. I think you can tell right off the convert, like they had to get into it. The same thing with DPRO, like they had to get into the name. You're seeing that with a lot of this stuff, even like ASTS, like you're seeing it like immediately, like they have to get in. You know, that's the kind of stuff you want to watch. Yeah, I like really what I'm seeing in the video, candidly, like a lot. Um, you know, I am. I'm really liking it a lot. I really think there's a thing there I want to do this morning. So, you know, I'm surprised like you're not really falling apart that much here. You know, I'm kind of curious about the this. Give me a second here. Let me see something while we're talking. Um, yeah, and then I don't think that's the dumbest idea in the world. Um, let's see here. I think you have to wait. Good morning from Phoenix. Good morning from Miami. Yeah, I mean, these things are like uranium's just, it's on a tear. I don't have anything that actually looks better than uranium. Like this thing just, I'm in this and it's just, I think we paid 42 for it in the community. Um, I don't think that you have, you know, I'm floored that this thing is actually worth more than this on a market cap basis. It makes zero sense to me. But, you know, a lot of things don't make sense to me. Yeah, I saw that. I like that name a lot. Happy Monday, Lisa. I like the nuclear names a lot. I really do. I don't know what's going on with this camera. Now I'm like, now you got my whole head's cut off. I don't know what to say. I think I need like a boom or something. But whatever. I don't even know how it dropped. I thought I was doing better before, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, I don't know that there's much to do here. Um, I mean, like I wouldn't buy it if I wanted to be in crowd. I would just buy cores. What I would really do, and I think the spread just got tighter. But what I would do is I would buy cores and short core weave and just let the spread happen and kind of go from there. That's what I would do. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the ES here. I'm a little concerned about how the market's even acting this morning, honestly. Um, they're buying bonds, right? I don't really worry about I don't really care that overbought, oversold. I guess my concern is can we get above that level? Like there's a level here. You just got to get above it. So let's see if we do. No, China had some news, but it wasn't bad. I saw the Microsoft hack. It seems like nobody really is caring. Um, Usually with these hacks, what I like to do with them, and I want to make sure that I have this in the right space, what I like to do with these hacks, this kind of stuff, is allow them to kind of sell down and then get involved. So, 15 open, high, low, close. Oh, I don't use Gemini. I don't know that I'm going to short that. I might actually go long. I'm usually early on that stuff. Is that who it is? That thing's awesome. It's like the questions that I was asking that thing and it was answering. It was It was crazy. The only thing that I wasn't doing right was asking better questions. Like, it was actually crazy. I was dumpster fire. I got ran over. I got completely ran over. I was actually laughing. I'm not a big fan of AMD. There's enough volume to move DPRO. Very different trade. I do own ANF. I'm just going to go through these and make sure I get to everybody. I think it's pretty ugly. I don't know that I would just, everything that everybody else knows, right? So what do you know? You know that they got hacked. The only thing that's interesting about the hack is they can't fix it. So how much damage gets done? That's where it gets super interesting because they cannot fix it yet. They're still working on it. AMPX, I was actually looking at that. The other thing I would say to people is if you're looking for something to short, you need to be looking at hospitals and these XLV names. Like they look god awful. I had this on a list somewhere and then I took it off. It's on a list of mine. I am watching this. I forget why I took it off. Let me just watch it. If it takes out the high, you're going to want to know, and then you have to make a decision. I like D-Pro. Back in the day. Well, I think all those stuff will eventually pull back. I mean, it's kind of like hot potato right now, right? My larger concern is like usually this kind of stuff, like just to be honest, you don't really want to gap up on days like this. Like you really don't want to gap up on days like that. It just doesn't really work. They usually get sold, those kinds of gap ups. And that's a concern of mine because I'm watching that with coin too, like while we're talking. Because you say it, like watch. You just got an upgrade and they can't even hold it up. Owning Bitcoin is completely different than owning coin and MSTR. And the spread on MSTR is getting shorter and shorter. I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, and 100% is getting shorter and shorter. I personally think the best thing that you can do is like understand the entire space. But if I want to buy coin because Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin. If you want to buy one of these names because of Ethereum, just buy Ethereum. You're just better off. It's just simpler. This was just brutal. This move. I actually went short that night on it as soon as it happened. As soon as I saw the secondary, I was laughing because remember when I was putting it on, I literally was saying, the only thing that's going to hurt us is if there's a secondary. There was a secondary. Unbelievable. But I shorted it. And then I'm completely 100% flat on this. And it still hasn't hit like a level that I would be concerned about from a swing perspective. So I might actually buy it after it prices. A lot of these pricings, guys, if you look at what's happening, like B-Sky or D-Pro, if you look at the pricing, they're not really falling out of bed here. So, take that for what it's worth, but they're not really falling out of bed. So I do think there's something to that. And it's definitely something I would be, interested in. But they're not really collapsing. So do with that what you will. But I still like the name, but you got to get through the secondary now. All right, guys, I got to jump.